everyone, and welcome to day 5 of your 7-day challenge, and this is all about moving through your beginner's Pilates mat work. So over the past 4 days we've pretty much looked at like every exercise in the beginner's mat work. So we've got a few that we need to touch upon before we do a full kind of run through and a full rehearsal of the full mat work, which is really exciting in 5 days. So what I want you to do is come down onto your back. Now there are 2 different ways of doing that. Okay, so I'm going to show you them both. Instead of standing at the back end of your mat, you're going to stand towards the front of your mat. So option number 1, still kind of maintaining that strong, tall posture. You're going to kneel one knee down, kneel the other knee down, sit yourself down, swing those legs around to then roll yourself down. Option number 1. Option number 2, cross your strongest leg in front, reach those arms forward, lift the spine up, breathe in, breathe out, sit down. Nice and graceful. Again, blocker's not here for my feet, it's purely just to make sure that my mat doesn't eat us as I roll down. Good, now if we can roll down with control, reach those arms forward, roll the wheel back or place the hands underneath the backs of the thighs, rest down. Alright, good, lovely. Find a moment to just land. Just breathing in and breathing out. Don't worry about the posture just yet. Breathing in and breathing out. Let go of anything that you may be worried about. Good, lovely. If you need to place those hands on the rib cage and lower abdomen like we did yesterday, please feel free to do that. Remember, the hand towards the rib cage is moving out to the side and back in. Hand at the lower abdomen is staying nice and heavy down to the ground without any kind of movement of the spine. Breathing in, breathing out. Change hands if you want to. Breathing in, breathing out, draw everything in. Rest the hands down, palms facing up if we can, or little fingers down. Breathing in. Draw the belly button in. Breathing out. Another chin towards the chest. Give yourself a nice double chin. Hold the orange underneath the neck. It's just to lengthen the back of the neck. Good. Make sure the hips are nice and still. Rib cage is heavy. Our shoulder blades are nice and pinned to the ground, and we're not thinking about the shoulders just yet. We're going to look at those now. Breathe in, take those arms up towards the ceiling, and just feel what part of the shoulder blades and the shoulders are on the floor. Now, what I want you to think about is reaching something up near the ceiling. Keep the head nice and heavy. What I want you to feel is this slow peeling of the shoulder blades away from the floor. It's almost like you're closing off the front of your chest. As you breathe out, imagine them melting down onto the floor. You're trying to cover as much surface as possible. You might notice that your hands have become slightly wider. Try and keep them in if we can. Small activation of the shoulders. Keep the ribs still. Breathing in. Reach towards the ceiling and breathe out. Pull that box down towards your face. Breathing in. Breathing out. 2 more. Breathing in. Breathing out. Can you focus on the belly button, that transverse abdominis, the corset muscle wrapping around? Good, lovely. Flip those hands towards the knees. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Breathing in. Take those arms either towards the diagonal or up and overhead. Make sure that both arms are even. You might notice if you've got shoulder tightness, one will drop further than the other. Try and keep it even. Breathing in. Breathing out, hands down. Hover the hands. We've seen this position before. Breathing in, taking the arms up towards the diagonal or over. Breathing out. 1 more. Breathing in. Keep the rib cage heavy and connected to the pelvis. Breathing out. Good, lovely. From there, let's add that curl up of the head and the upper back. Breathing out. Shoulder blades away from the floor if we can. That's what we're aiming for. Breathing in. Breathing out. Pull the belly button in. Look towards the knees. Breathing in. If we need to, hand on lower abdominals. Pull the belly button away. One more time. Breathing in. Pull the belly button in. Keep the hands where they are. Just rest them down on the floor. Rest the head down. Keeping those fingertips reaching towards the outsides of the feet. If we can, take a small hover of them, but right now that's not the focus. Make sure those feet are flat. Let's come into the lower abdominal kind of series that we've been doing, which kind of looks like scissors, but it was our preparation for 100. So breathing in. Breathing out, draw the belly button down, keep the pelvis still. Lift the right leg. Breathing in. And breathing out, same leg. Keep the knee parallel, breathing in. Rest the upper body, breathing out. 2 more, breathing in. Pelvis is steady. Can you still focus on keeping the pelvis still whilst maintaining that precise placement of the knee? Last one. Breathing in. Other leg. Again, if you need any kind of feedback from the hands, place the hands on the lower belly. What this allows you to do is draw the belly button away from the hands and keep it there without lifting the rib cage and sucking everything in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out, belly button down. Shoulders relaxed. Chin in towards chest. Itchy lip. Breathing out. And bring the leg down. Good, lovely. Breathing in. And breathing out. Keep those legs hip distance apart. Reach those hands forward. Up towards the ceiling, only the ceiling. Breathing in. Curl the head away from the floor if you want to. You've guessed it. Breathing in. That's 1. 2. 3. Keep going. 1. Keep going if we can. Extend those legs. Again, either slightly straighter or completely straight. Last one. Hug the knees in towards the chest. Lovely. Take a little roll around. Well done. If we extended those legs even for 1 single breath, amazing. Again, that's seen as a little challenge, and again, it is up to you. You know your own body, so just set that challenge. Take it on if you want to. If not, leave it for a different day. Place the feet down on the floor. Lengthen. This is where I might kick this off. Might also pull my shorts down. I think this is the first time in years that I've worn shorts. In fact, this might be the most amount of times I've worn my shorts in like my entire life during this period. So, hugging the right knee in towards the chest and extend that leg up. Now, it is up to you. If you feel like you're really restricting in the hip, bend that leg. If we can, slightly straighten it and slightly straighten it. Now this leg, we want to really aim for that straight line. And if it's not possible today or during the 7 days, go ahead and bend it. Breathing in to come across. Breathing out, around and up. If we can, straight. Nice and small, breathing in. Breathing out. Good, breathing in. Breathing out. 1 more, breathing in. Breathing out. Reverse, breathing in. Hips still, breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. 2 more, breathing in. Breathing out. Last one, breathing in. breathing out, good, lovely, bringing it down. Breathing in, lifting that leg up. My shorts are giving me a total wedgie, sorry, I had to sort it out. Lengthen that leg all the way up, keeping that leg straight if we can. Again, in an ideal world, nice and straight legs. If we can, bend that leg. Breathing in, come across, keep the hips still. Breathing out, around. Nice and small, nice and slow. Hips staying square and glued to the floor. Breathing out. And again, we need to keep a check on it. And keep a check on it. Breathing out. Last one, breathing in. And breathing out. Other way, breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last one, breathing in. Breathing out. Good, lovely. Bringing that down. Give yourself a little roll, a little shake around. And what I want you to do is to bring yourself up to a seated position. Okay. Rolling back, or rolling like a ball. Okay. Hands around the backs of the thighs. Now, if we can really draw the belly button away from the thighs, place the hands on the tops of the knees. If we're feeling comfortable here, walk those feet in a little bit more and slide those hands down the shins. The tighter the position, the harder it is to really pull the belly button away from the thighs, the harder it is to round, the harder it is to get back up. So, resting here, breathing in, pull the belly button back. Stay here, breathing in, back of the body, breathing out. Draw the belly button back. Hover the feet, breathing in. Hover the feet, breathing out. Stay here if we can for a total of 3 more breaths. If not, 3 roll backs, breathing in. Breathing out. Feet down on the floor. Breathing in. Breathing out. And again, breathing in. Breathing out. Good, lovely. From there, lengthen that left leg along the mat. Come into hugging your right knee. We're then going to come into a single leg stretch. If we need to, bring that left leg higher towards the ceiling, further down towards the floor, more challenging. I'm going to go halfway. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. 4 more. If we can, hover their head. Breathing in. Breathing in. Breathing in. Lovely. Now what I want us to do is we're going to bring ourselves back up to seated for this next variation, because I want us to look at ways that we have to move our arms and legs for this. So rock and roll yourself up to seated. And what I want us to do, apart from sort your shorts out, is extend those legs straight. Now this might be easier if you're not on a mat. This is the advantage of not having a mat, so just be aware that I will probably be shuffling my feet up. In fact, yeah, I'll stay on the mat, we'll see how it goes. So when the knees come in towards the chest, we round our back and we pull our hands in towards our knees. Now the reason I'm doing this seated is that it can become a little bit too challenging on the lower back to do this down on the floor. So it's good to take a little bit of a break and do it seated. Breathing in here, and again it's the same position, like rolling back, and it's the same as single leg stretch, but with both legs. So we hug everything in, we then extend everything out, we take those arms up and overhead. We sweep the arms around, and we pull everything in. Now, sometimes, depending on who delivers the class, sometimes you can extend those arms straight up and out. Sometimes you can have this feeling of taking a hat off. Taking the hat off is just slightly kinder because obviously the lever is shorter at some point. So if we take our hat off, we're coming through our plumb line, whereas this one is slightly more challenging because obviously we're creating that big arc. So it's up to you. So we'll hug our knees in towards our chest. We'll breathe in to extend out, take your hat off, or create that circle. We breathe in, breathing out. So we breathe in to extend out. We breathe out, circle round, pull the belly button in, draw both knees in at the same time. Okay, now let's try down on the mat. Again, just like single leg stretch, if those legs are higher, this one is kinder. Leave the head down for today. Hugging your knees in towards your chest. We're going to breathe in, take everything out. Extend your legs and extend your arms by taking your hat off. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Continue going and just notice what the pelvis is doing. Is it staying strong? Is it moving? If we can, extend those legs a little bit longer. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Keep the head down. 2 more. Breathing out. In, breathing out. Last one. Breathing in. Breathing out. Good, lovely. Place the feet down on the floor. Give ourselves a little bit of a roll around. And I believe we are coming up to, no we're not yet, shoulder bridge. How could I forget shoulder bridge? Okay, so setting those feet flat, chin in towards the chest, which is something that I completely forgotten there. Making sure that those feet aren't too close together, they're also not too far away. Knees up towards the ceiling. Again, just take a check, make sure that they're not pointing out towards the diagonal. We're going to reach the arms up today, creating a little bit more of a stabilizing with the shoulders. So we really want to try and challenge how little we can rely on the shoulders. So breathing in, breathing out. Pull the belly button in, flatten or imprint the lower back on the floor, and start to peel the hips away from the floor. Again, think about length, knees forward. That's how you lift the hips higher. Breathing in at the top, squeezing the glutes, keeping the rib cage heavy. And then breathing out, rolling through the spine. Lovely. 3 more here. Breathing in, pull the belly button in, tilt the pelvis under, roll the wheel back like you do in your roll up. But then we finish in an extension. Kinda like roll up. Breathing in, breathing out. Fabulous. Good. 2 more. Breathing in. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last one. We're going to roll ourselves up and hold. Breathing in. Good. Keep those hips high. Take the arms out. Hover. Breathing in. Keep those hips still. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. 3 more. Breathing in. Again, all that work and tension in the glutes, big stabilizing muscles. 2 more. Last one. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in to hold. Breathing out. Roll down. Good, lovely. Dropping those knees from side to side. Giving yourself a rock and roll around. Releasing any tension you may have got in that exercise. Alright, so after that shoulder bridge, we are now coming onto our front. So if you want to just roll yourself up and over, I'm going to flip myself up and over because, like I said, like day 3 of this challenge, kind of like facing this way. It doesn't feel the same as facing the other way. Okay, so we're going to come into swan dive. Now, we've done a few different variations of this, and what I would like us to do is to build up on some endurance in this position. Okay, so resting the head down, everything that we usually do, elbows out to the side like cactus arms, hands flat. Be really aware of the pressure that you're placing onto the hands. We want to try our best to avoid putting too much weight through the hands, if anything at all, because remember our version where we float. Forehead is down, belly button is drawing away, and again that's like that wrapping around from the transverse abdominis muscle, from the back of the body. Legs are relaxed, but they are hip distance apart and they are precise. Okay. Remember, our swan dive is all about extension of the upper back, not of the neck. Breathing in. Draw the belly button in. Lovely. You're all set to go. Breathing in to lift. Hands stay down for the first 2. Breathing out. Feel that clarity of movement as you go. Breathing in to lift. Feel the pelvis wants to lift with it. Keep drawing the belly button in and keep supporting by pressing the rib cage down. If we can this time, we can look forward. But again, it's not a shortening, it's a lengthening. Breathing out. Good. If you're ready, hover the elbows and the hands. And breathing out. Draw that belly button in. Breathing in to lift. Everything still applies. Breathing in to lift. Breathing out to lower. 2 more here. Breathing in. Breathing out. 1 last time. Hands down or hands elevated. Legs relaxed. Breathing out. Now, if your hands are staying down for this, what I would like you to do is breathe in to lift. Extend those arms out into a kind of a Y position or a star position with the arms. Pull the elbows back into their position and then lower down. So that version 1 more time. Breathing in. Extend those arms along the mat. Breathing in to pull it back in and down. If your arms are hovering away from the floor, you're going to do exactly the same thing, but hover the arms away from the floor. So breathing in. Legs relaxed. Breathing out. Extend those arms. Keep that chest lifted. Feel all of those muscles work in the upper back. Breathing in. Do not pull those elbows any further back. Breathing out. Good. 3 more of the variation you're doing. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Keep that pelvis down. Breathing in. Breathing out. I know the want here to lift the pelvis and drop the chest is pretty high. Keep it down. Again, if the work is coming too much for this last one, keep the arms down. Breathing in and breathing out. Ooh. Lifting the hips, pressing yourself back into a child's pose or a cat and cow stretch. Oh, I've really felt that work in my upper back. Again, it's one of those exercises when we get towards kind of the intermediate advanced version of it, it becomes really dynamic, so it's really important that we can really strengthen the upper back muscles in that extension. Also, because of society, we do kind of round our backs a lot. So we do tend to find that people who come to Pilates classes are specifically kind of quite hunched over. So those types of exercises are things that people really struggle with. So it's really, really good that it's in the mat work. Alright, once I've had enough of a breather and a roll around here, I'm going to get you to bring yourself back down onto your front. We've got leg pull front. Okay, so our hands, they are set up, spreading those hands, making a nice wide base. Elbows underneath the shoulders, and we're going to look down. I'm kind of like lining it up with my kind of like with our cat and cow stretch when we had our hands on the floor. You drew a kind of invisible line between the 2 fingers, and that was a good point of reference. Here, because we want to avoid looking forward as much today, I really want you to press the elbows down into the floor and kind of look somewhere. Again, I'm kind of using like the ends of my sleeves. Now, what I want you to do is tuck the toes straight away. We're going to do 1 variation with the knees down, 1 variation with the knees elevated. And then we're going to look at what the feet do for our leg pull front. Okay? So breathing in, breathing out. Pull the belly button away, press those elbows into the floor, toes tucked. 1 more time, breathing in. And breathing out. Alright, and relax. Okay, so feel free to do that version again. Okay, if we're really wanting to focus on drawing the belly button up and we feel like when we get to that final exhale we start to drop and shake, then keep it with that version and work on building the strength for those 2 cycles of breathing. If we can, let's set ourselves up ready to lift the thighs. Again, we haven't done swimming today, so that kind of feeling and connection might not make sense, but really see if you can stretch the heel back as much as possible. Again, that visual and kind of physical cue will probably help us for the next variation of this. So breathing in, breathing out, lift the hips first, then lift the legs and send the heels back, breathing in and breathing out. My elbow is slipping. Breathing in and breathing out, lower it down. Alright, nice. Hopefully that felt stronger and there was more understanding in that than it was yesterday. So, leg pull front. Let's try it, shall we? So I'm going to quickly explain what a leg pull front is and why it's different to a plank on your elbows. So, the reason this is different is because we take a small rocking motion back. So I'm going to explain this kind of in a loose box position. Okay, so what I want us to do is bring that left knee flat. Again, does not have to be in a box position, just a nice supported position. We then extend that right leg back with the toes tucked under, just as we were doing. Keep the hips square, but again, doesn't matter too much because you're going to have to keep the hips square in order to rock them back. The hips square because if they're out to the side, the ankles will roll in or out. So we can take a look down towards the toes just for a little bit of visual feedback rather than just kind of guessing where we're rolling. So we breathe out, 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 and we take 3 small stretches for the calf, and then we breathe in. Breathe. Breathe in. 1 more. Breathe in. Change sides. And that is the difference between an elbow plank and a leg pull front. Okay, we breathe. Ooh, do you hear that ankle crack? Breathe out, out, out. Breathe in. 1 last time. Good, lovely. Now, put that together with our elbow leg pull front. Again, if you are wanting to do the version on your knees, again, can be slightly tricky. So what I want you to do is just try and hold that position for as long as it takes for us to do those pulses back. If you want to give those pulses back a go, by all means try. If you can just manage once on each side with a little break in between, great. Okay, set those elbows. Chest is lifted, head is down. Tuck those toes under, lift the hips, lift those legs, press back. We go. Breathe in. Breathe in. Like a typewriter to the side, technically to the back. 1 more. Breathe in. Lower it down. Nice work, really well done. So we're going to do that 1 more time. So the leg pull front in its fullest is done with 1 leg elevated. Now that is towards the intermediate advanced variation. So this exercise that we're doing here is the top end of our beginner's mat work. So really well done. Let's do 1 more time though. Elbows down, chest down, tuck those toes, breathing in, breathing out. Breathe in to come forward. And like I said, a typewriter. So going straight back, keeping the hips down. 1 more. Drop it down. Well done. Bring those feet up. Rest those hands wherever we feel comfortable. And just rocking the feet from side to side. Hard work is done. But like I said yesterday, we want to keep it active. We really want to make this a lifestyle choice. And the way that we start with that is by doing a small snippet of Pilates every single day. And then we start to think about how we can incorporate that into our everyday life things, like putting on the kettle and think about drawing the belly button in, or even the pelvic floor, or brushing our teeth standing on one leg or anything like that. And when we're ready, placing the legs down, taking those hands underneath the shoulders, and if we can, pushing ourselves up and away, tucking those toes under, walking those hands back, and again, if we can, nice and dynamic, lifting the weight up onto the feet and the hands, checking the feet are hip distance apart, step them slightly wider if we need to, narrower if we need to, bent legs or straight legs, walk those hands back. Take a nice breath in here and breath out. Relax those hands if we can. Again, those hands may be on the fronts of the ankles, the fronts of the shins, and just allow them to relax a little bit if we can. If they're on the floor, completely relaxed. Bent legs or straight legs, roll yourself all the way up to standing. Again, weight forward in towards the toes and roll yourself up. Hips, ribs, shoulders, and the head. Glue those legs together. Lift in the head. Take 3 nice deep breaths here. Every time we breathe in, we get bigger, we expand. And every time we breathe out, we pull everything in, but we grow taller. Breathing in. Last one, breathing in. Reach those arms up, breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. One more, but we're going to breathe in and reach up. Draw the belly button in. Squeeze those glutes, and just as if by magic we float the heels away from the floor. Doesn't have to be high. Keep the weight forward. It's also harder with a narrow position, so if we need to, step those feet slightly wider. Breathing in. And breathing out. Lower the heels and the hands at the same time. Reach those hands down towards the floor. Create that space between the shoulders, but also think about the lift through the crown of the head. Lift through the body, both front, side, and the back. Alright, really, really well done. That is your day 5 finished. So we've pretty much learned every single exercise for the beginner's mat work. Now, over the next 2 days, we're going to run it as if it was a Pilates class. So this is kind of going with the concept that you've learned these exercises. Now, what's going to happen is we're going to find that we're doing a lot of exercises, one after the other. And what I'm going to do my best is to stick to the classical mat work because the order of it is perfect. Okay, so obviously the classical mat work repertoire includes those intermediate and advanced exercises, which of course we're not going to do. Okay, so we're going to put those beginner exercises back to back. What I want you to be aware of is at what point do we get tired, both physically and mentally. At what point do we switch off? And is it the exercises that we know we hate, or is it just due to tiredness and kind of thinking too much? So what I want us to really come to the class tomorrow is just with an open mind and just know that you've learned all of these exercises in 5 days. Don't be so hard on yourself if some of the exercises have made sense over the past 5 days and they don't when in with a mat work class. But we have 2 days to kind of look at rounding up this whole 7-day challenge. But really, really well done for your day 5, and I'll see you all tomorrow for day 6.